Well, Maggie Berghoff, welcome to the L3 Leadership Podcast. I've been looking forward to this conversation. And for those who may not be familiar with us, why don't we just start with you just telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be here too. I am an entrepreneur in the online space. I actually built my own online functional medicine practice in 2017. And then a few years later, we also launched an online business and marketing company, very similar, related to the wellness space, but helping other business owners, other health and wellness professionals to build and scale their own online companies. And I'm a mom of three. So I have a lot of different things that we chat through: business, wellness, motherhood, all of the things.
Yeah, and the most exciting thing that I think is happening in your life is you're launching a book, which is right behind you, Eat the Treat.
Yes.
And so why don't you just kind of give us a basic overview of why did you write this book and what do you want readers to get out of it?
Well, my favorite thing about the book is that it's not just about eating. Of course, it's called Eat to Treat, but it's actually the exact three-step plan that I would teach my private health clients in our functional medicine practice to rebalancing their body and healing. We focus on finding out what's going on to cause your symptoms, your nagging symptoms, or your chronic diseases, and then how to create an environment that allows your body to heal and detoxify. And then, of course, not just what to eat, but also mindset around nutrition. And I just love because for a pretty very accessible price, you can grab this book and dive into exactly what I would teach all of our high level private one-on-one clients and get this information and implement it in your own life. So by far my favorite part is the accessibility for you to take charge of your own health.
Yeah, and I want to start with just asking really basic questions because functional medicine, I feel like, is blowing up over the past 5 years. I'm sure you've seen that too. But I still think there's a lot of people out there maybe listening to this and just saying, what is functional medicine
Yeah.
and why does that matter? Can you talk to us about that?
So true, actually. When I first started my business, my functional medicine business, I was like one of the weirdo first ones, especially online. And now, thankfully, it's a little bit more widespread. And I also had no idea what the word meant. Actually, I had a health journey in my young 20s, which led me to all of this. And I got super sick. And all these doctors were telling me that there was nothing wrong with me. My labs looked normal, all this stuff. And I was not feeling well. And so an aunt of mine told me to Google functional medicine. She was like, Maggie, just get on Google and type in functional medicine, go down this rabbit hole because this is what you need. This is what's going to heal your body. And let me tell you, I went down the rabbit hole. I actually went back to school and got certified and specialized in functional and integrative medicine. Now, what this means is essentially combining traditional medicine. I, of course, have that knowledge too, and I believe there's a time and place for pharmaceuticals and traditional medicine, but it's finding out what's actually going on in your body, the actual imbalances and complications that you are having, and then how to rewire and rebalance your body to actually heal instead of just give it a pharmaceutical medication to feel better. So we're actually like getting deep into your biochemical individuality, figuring out what's going on in your body, and then fixing it instead of covering it up with medications. It's really, really about rebalancing and healing.
Yeah, and so to give people a practical idea, so you talked about your healing journey when you got introduced to it. What did that actually look like? Was it literally
Yeah.
just taking blood work and figuring out what you need to change eating wise, or what happened?
Well, okay, so first of all, the blood work is different in traditional medicine than functional medicine. So in the traditional medicine model, my blood work was normal at first, and that's why doctors were telling me, you're fine. Even though I was crying and I was so bloated no matter what I ate and I didn't have any periods and all this kind of stuff was going wrong, but they were telling me I'm fine because my lab said I was. So in functional medicine, we actually have access to more specialty testing where we can find out lots of information as far as detailed hormone pathways, detox pathways. Do you have a parasite in your gut? Do you have hormonal imbalances and neurotransmitter imbalances? What are your nutrient levels? Do you have heavy metal toxicity? All these different things that you can find out through saliva, blood, stool, and urine and hair for what's going on in your body. So it was those tests that helped guide my path to healing, finding out what was actually going on in my body and then healing it in that way. So it did matter what types of tests you're running on your body.
Yeah, so you ran these tests, and so what did it actually show, and what did you change that made a difference?
For me, I had severe nutrient imbalances. Like they give you all the different nutrient levels, magnesium, D, all the Bs, all everything, and mine were like all the way to the left in the tank, red. So if you don't have the right nutrients, your body is not going to be able to do what it's supposed to do. But if you give your body what it needs, it's going to be able to do more than the smartest doctor in the world or the smartest pill in the world will do. So your body wants to heal itself. We have to give it a helping hand the right direction. So I had severe nutrient deficiencies, even though I already was eating organic and healthy and hitting the gym every day. So that's important to know. I was not like an unhealthy person from what most me would seem. They would look at me and think I was healthy already. I wasn't. I also had really high levels of aluminum and copper toxicity in my body that was just ruining me. And I had overgrowth of bacteria, the bad bacteria in my gut lining, that was also causing a lot of complications. So there was just kind of like this perfect storm. In addition to hormonal imbalances, I already mentioned I didn't have a period and I had low thyroid. Now, I will kind of explain a little bit of functional medicine versus traditional medicine. So I had low thyroid. Now, in traditional medicine, they would say, you have a low thyroid. Here, take this thyroid pill. In functional medicine, we're saying, whoa, your thyroid is low. I wonder why. Let's figure out why your thyroid might be underacting and what we can do to fix it. That's a really like concrete example of kind of the difference between the two models.
Yeah, so it sounds like, well, I guess the way I understand it too, there's also kind of two needs for functional medicine. So one, hey, there's something wrong with my body, which sounds like it was your story. You went and obviously were able to figure out what was wrong and fix it that way. The other, and I guess I'm just asking, like my view on it, I'm interested in this space. I haven't really taken the dive in, but I'm also interested in like optimizing my health. And so for me, it's like, I want to get in the best shape possible. I want to do everything I can to live as long as I can, et cetera. And so that's what I'm looking for. So can people who may not feel something wrong with their body also benefit, like I'm talking about, when it comes to optimizing their health?
Yeah. So actually that is kind of my specialty. So Eat to Treat is written for anyone and everyone in their health complications or in their performance. But most of my private clientele are in your boat of high performance. And we've done lots of episodes of this as well. But what you can do is the same types of things. Your objective for testing your body, though, is different. You want to fine tune and optimize. Just like in business, you want to look at the funnel and fine tune and optimize what's going on so you can get the most of it. Same with your body. So as somebody who's looking for more performance, anti-aging, longevity, get the detailed lab testing done on your body at least once a year to figure out where you are. Do you have imbalances that you didn't know about? Did you pick up a parasite on that trip to wherever, Mexico, wherever, right? Like you want to keep on tracking your body, especially as everybody, ages. What are your hormones doing? You mentioned you have 4 kids. I have 3 kids. Let me tell you, I am not sleeping the best ever. And so I know that my body is not optimized, but what I can do, even though I'm not sleeping well, even though sometimes I do stay up late when I'm traveling or working or something like that, what can I do to optimize regardless so that my body can handle those hits and stay well long term? And the way to do that is through lab testing. And then, of course, the day, like part 2 and 3 in the book, the daily lifestyle and nutrition needs for your body.
Yeah, I want to get to that, but to stick with the labs because this is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So again, most people will be like, "Oh, I have to go to the doctor and turn that in." How can people find next steps with that? Like, do they need to find a functional medicine doctor in their area? Do they just like go out to you and they can send their labs to you? Like, what would be the next
Okay.
steps if someone wanted to do that?
This is going to be controversial because not all functional medicines, I'm talking about how awesome functional medicine is and it saved my life, right? But not all functional medicine or integrative medicine practitioners are created equally. Just like not every doctor is like the most awesome doctor, okay? So in my healing journey, I have been to a handful of functional providers that were not good. And they wanted to just stick me on like 20 supplements, and they gave me this big binder of this one size fits all plan to follow for the next 3 months. It was not good. So I would hope that you could find a functional medicine practitioner or coach that you love to work with. However, if the first one is a blow, don't give up because it's not always so easy. But what I do love nowadays is that you can be empowered and take control of your own health, much like I did as I healed my body and went back to school to learn about how to heal my body. You can do that for yourself now. So someone like you, Doug, or maybe a lot of your listeners, if you're motivated to find out what's going on in your body, there are ways that you can order your own tests, and the lab can give you a print off of your exact results, and you can go down that rabbit hole for your own body optimization. And it's amazing. And you can even actually, we have recently partnered with a lab company that allows our followers and audience to order their lab straight from my website. So you can go and just click through the labs I order our private clients and get them yourself. And then you have that power to find out what's going on in your body, not have to hire somebody, not have to wait for an appointment or get off of a wait list. And it's a lot more accessible of a price point because you're not charging for any consulting or coaching. You just get to order yourself.
Yeah, and we can include links to all of that in the show notes. So would you still recommend that route versus functional medicine, or would you say everyone kind of has to figure out what works best for them?
I think everybody learns different, and everybody's in a different situation. Also, even financially, sometimes it's a really large investment to hire somebody, or your functional medicine provider in town might have, I know for me, one that I wanted to go to was like a 9-month wait list. Don't wait 9 months to take control of your health. Like, get this ASAP. So it really just depends. I think in general, I want to empower people to take charge of their own health. And so I think you should learn about your body. And it's going to help you to help yourself in a better way if you yourself are getting this lab done and you get the print off and you can read about your body. It's going to soak in and retain more. And it's, I think, going to help you get better results than just showing up to an office and being like, what do I do? And then them telling you what to do, but it's not going to stick the same because you don't really understand the reasonings why. So really, I would go the less expensive, easier, faster route and order your own tests, and then perhaps hire a coach, a functional medicine coach or consultant or an online practitioner to help you through your journey. So basically, I really think that to take control of your own health in this accessible way, but I do still see a huge value of working with someone specialized in rebalancing the body and also someone who can keep you accountable to your goals. So I do think it's still valuable. It just depends on your situation.
Yeah. So the first step is to really just take a step and take an interest in your health and get blood work. So you sold me on that. We put in our health insurance this year. Like, we are going to do that. So my wife and I, we send out our blood work. It comes back. We see the results. Now let's get to the practical. How does this impact our everyday life and lifestyle? What are the steps and what are the next steps after you receive the results?
Well, and it's not just blood. So some of them might be like, we have a 3-day stool exam that I really love to do on clients, saliva, a hair test, urine test. So there's lots of different ways that we can test what's going on in the body, but it's all kind of like the hard, concrete information of what's going on in your body right now. Now, based off those results, either the lab is going to tell you, or your practitioner or your doctor will tell you maybe some supplements or even medications that you might want to take in this moment. And again, like, that's important to know. I'm not against all medications. You might need a medication to get you to that next point of healing as you heal on your journey. It's all about the right time, duration, and purpose. But you also might be able to do it completely without medications, but maybe there are some core supplementations that are really going to help you. For example, I said earlier on, I had really high aluminum levels. I needed to detox my body, and eating green leafies wasn't going to do that enough. I needed some help. And so, like, it is important sometimes to take a supplementation or even a medication in that interim. So you're taking something to help your body, but then you are doing lifestyle and nutrition measures to heal long term. So with that, we have a lot of different lifestyle things you can do to detox daily without supplementations or medications, but actually detoxing, lowering inflammation, a lot of mindset strategies, and then of course nutrition. So we can dive into a lot of different aspects. Kind of, where do you want to go for your listeners today?
Yeah, I'd love to dive into the nutrition specifically and just, lowering inflammation. What are some things we can do every day to do that? Sounds like a
Okay.
good thing.
So, obviously, I could talk for 10 hours straight on this, but a few core implementation things that you can do today for your nutrition is, I do find if you are struggling, it depends where you are on the inflammation spectrum. We have a quiz, actually 2 quizzes, that tells you where you are in the inflammation spectrum and your type of inflammation, as well as another one that tells you what your total toxic burden is. So I want to preface this, if your total toxic burden level is like crazy high, you've got toxicities coming in at you from all over the place, you're so inflamed and you're feeling crappy, you'll have to be a little bit more strict or have to do a little bit more things in your lifestyle and in your nutrition. Whereas if you're coming in, maybe like you, Doug, you work out, you eat healthy, you're looking to optimize, your total toxic burden might be a little bit lower. And so you'll want to do some different things. So it really is dependent on where you're coming from, but most clients who are actively struggling feel better when they remove dairy and grains, and not just gluten. Most people are like gluten free, but specifically grains because they're hard to digest. So even like organic gluten free brown rice, it might not help your body, but everybody is unique. So but most people feel better if they're inflamed currently to reduce dairy and grains, and everybody should focus on more real food, less packaged goods. So I call this in the book like a refrigerator and a pantry detox. So looking in your pantry or looking in your refrigerator, number one, get rid of all the things that are expired. I promise there are probably things in there that like expired 2 years ago and you just had no idea. Like throw those out, make some new space for the new. And then two, look at the things that you know are not great for your body and find healthier swaps for those things. Step one is swapping. I've had clients who love eating Starburst every night swap their Starburst with just the organic fruit chews. So
Wow.
looking at your pantry, looking at your fridge and finding what could I swap? A healthier version of this Oreo, a better option for my pasta, this for this. What can you swap? And that's it's going to take your inflammation down incredibly in just 1 week.
Yeah, well, that I'll speak to that. When I was younger, I was heavier and always struggled, and really had to learn a lot about nutrition. And that, like, when people come to me and ask me to talk to them about how can they lose weight and get into shape, I said, if you just track what you eat for 2 weeks, I could tell you sub this for this, sub this for this, and you'll see a massive difference. Like, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Well, one, I've never heard someone eating Starburst every night. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I love this advice. Yeah, just actually looking for substitutes that are healthy. And I'm sure you can speak to this too. It's not like it's less quality. Like the food's actually better, tastes
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily in today's world, there are so many options for these swaps. You can still have the exact same foods you want, whatever you're craving. There's a healthier option out there, and it reduces inflammation. You talked about weight loss. For the people like who were coming to you wanting to lose weight. I've had a client tell me after 1 week her anxiety decreased by 75% just from the food. This is because of the ingredients of the food. It's not that they're not eating sugar, it's that the ingredients are higher quality, better options, and they're a healthier swap so there's less inflammation. It's amazing. And it's like you said, it's not like you're eating salads every day. Like you can eat your favorite foods just in a healthier way.
Yeah. What is your thoughts on sugar in general?
Well, I think reducing it is best. So I keep saying the word reducing. The reason is that I'm big on mindset around nutrition too. I have worked with a lot of people who have a lot of fear around food, or doing some kind of diet or a wellness journey throws them into eating disorders or binge eating because they're restricting and then they're going all out on the weekends, things like that, starting over on Monday. I could talk about this all day long,
Yeah.
but I really want to focus on reducing, because if you can focus on reducing things and then adding and flooding your body with the nutrients that it needs, when you're adding, like, what can I add, and then you're cognizantly reducing the other stuff, your body will start to balance out and you'll start to crave healthier options. So for your question about what I think about sugar, do I think it has health benefits? No. So we can definitely reduce that from our body. And if you are focused on healing your body, I talked about grains and dairy, knock out sugar too, and you're going to feel better, right? So it's really, where do you want to focus? Do you want to feel really a lot better right now? Sugar is not going to help you get to that goal. And so we can reduce or eliminate that. And then when you do eat sugar, there are healthier versions of that, like coconut sugar or fruit sugar that you can sweeten things with.
Yeah. So your book's called Eat the Treat. So in general, and I want you to coach me here, like be strict with me, whatever you would tell your client. Like I'm big on like the 80-20, 90-10. Like I try to eat pretty healthy most of the time, but on weekends, like one weekend night a week, like with the kids, I'm like, I love ice cream. So it's like, hey, we're all having ice cream tonight. Like in general, will once a week offset, the results that you've achieved over the last 6 days? I'm just curious your thoughts on actual cheat days or cheat meals.
No, it doesn't. So just like eating one healthy meal is not going to heal your body. So you can't expect to eat healthy for 2 days and then be like, it's not working. Like you can't expect that. But one ice cream cone on a Saturday night with your kiddos isn't either. In fact, it might actually help your body because maybe it brings joy and happiness and memories. Right. So I'm big on that. And in fact, that it reminds me of a client one time who like apologized to me because they ate like a piece of pie at like this family gathering. And I'm like, dude, eat the pie. It was this fella. And I just felt, that anxiety and that worry and that stress. And the fact that he even apologized to me on a meeting the next week, that causes more damage than eating that pie in and of itself. The mental stress and mental inflammation of that. So for me, I really like the balance of that, but then enjoying it. It also, so say this is all about the mindset around nutrition. Say you're eating that ice cream cone. If you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go to the gym extra tomorrow. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Maggie's gonna be mad at me. Da da da. This is gonna ruin all my things. It's probably gonna cause your body damage. Because also you're stressed and you're causing your body anxiety. And your sympathetic nervous system is going off, which causes inflammation. And when your sympathetic nervous system is off, your digestive system, or when your sympathetic is on, your digestive system is off. And so now you can't even properly digest that ice cream cone and everything's a mess. And you're stressed. Yeah. But if you just eat that ice cream cone and you're like, oh, this is the best day ever. I'm so freaking grateful for my family. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. What a beautiful sunset. You're calm. Your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. So you're going to be able to digest that cone properly and you're enjoying your life and your time. So hopefully that explains that. That would be my true advice to everybody in that situation.
No, I think that's so good, and taking mindset into account and joy as well. You mentioned we've been talking. We both have children. Now, this is really important. So, like, I had no boundaries growing up. Like, I remember if you've ever seen Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin eats like 10 scoops of ice cream with everything on him. Like, I used to do that, which is terrible. So I feel like, for my wife and I, we value health. We want to make sure we raise healthy kids. But I'm sure it's the same with you. The on-the-go lifestyle, like 4 kids under 7. This one's got to go. Like, it's insane. And I'm just curious, what advice do you have to parents out there? Like, how can we really set up our children for success when it comes to health and nutrition?
Yeah. So for me, I also have 3 kids, and I had 3 kids within 3 years. So they're all very young. Yes. So, but for me, it was a little bit opposite, is that when you grew up, you had no boundaries. When I grew up, I saw a mom who was always on a diet, to be honest, and always wanted to lose weight and always was frustrated or thought the ice cream cone was bad, right? And so I had kind of an opposite effect where I viewed food as bad or good, or if I wanted to be skinny, I needed to eat less, things like that. So for me in general, I feel with our children, I'm very balanced around it. I'm big on the mindset around nutrition. We really only buy organic. I'm grateful we buy organic. Our whole house is gluten-free, dairy-free, except for some goat cheese. And that is just our norm. And we have candy, but it's the organic, healthier versions of candy. And that's our norm. We make cookies and muffins and brownies. It's the healthier versions of those things. Now, so our kids' inflammation is automatically lower, but they're still eating this brownie. They don't even really know the difference. They love this stuff because it's so good. But the key thing is when they are out, if they're at a birthday party, if we're out to eat, I'm not judging or telling them what they should or shouldn't have. So if they are wanting to order mac and cheese off this menu, I'm like, amazing, that looks so good. How is it? I'm not telling them, you shouldn't really have it if it's not gluten-free. So I'm really balanced around, I don't want them to binge eat. I don't want them to fear food. And I don't want them to have a negative mindset towards this. But of course, I want them to be healthy because I care about them. I don't want to flood my children with food dyes and artificial flavorings and things like that. That is very standard for the American diet, at least. So I care about them. So I don't want them to eat those foods, but I also want their mindset. That's my approach to things. We have healthier swaps, but I'm not freaked out if they eat Domino's pizza on this Friday school day or whatever it is.
Do you have any favorite go-to snacks or quick on-the-go foods before school or anything? I would love to hear.
Yes. This is one of my favorite things because we're so, I feel like, I guess, normal in the sense of busy on the go, grabbing the snacks, but healthier options. Some of my favorite brands, Siete is a great one. So Siete, they make a lot of great condiments as well as wraps. Like our kids love their Siete wraps. They have crackers. They have all different things. We love Simple Mills. This is a shout out to all my favorite brands. Simple Mills is great. They have great cupcakes. We do birthday cakes with them, brownies. They also have crackers that our kids love. Made Good. They love their granola bars, and so do I. They're so good. So
Yep.
yeah, Made Good is a good brand too. They've got granola bars, they've got little balls, cookies. And then I would say the last most common one in our household is a brand called Lesser Evil. And Lesser Evil, we love their popcorn, and they have lots of other snacks too, like puffs for the kids. And our babies grew up on Lesser Evil, little like the little puffs, but they're the healthier versions that actually have good things in them. So there's some good brands that I love. I could go on, but yeah,
No,
we
I
actually
love
have
this.
we have a lot of resources for your people. Obviously, you're interested in this too. There's so many.
Yeah.
We have like a whole huge like non-toxic pantry swap list linking all of our favorite stuff that you can get access to for free on our sites.
Wonderful. So yeah, we'll include links again to that all in the show notes. I want to talk a little bit. Yeah, there's so much. I could go on for like 2 hours of this. Talked about on the food side, you talked about eating real food. What should people be looking for? Like if they have no idea what any of this means, like what should they start to look for in their food to tell whether or not what they're eating is healthy when they go grocery shopping,
Mhm.
et cetera? Do you have any hacks for them?
Yes. So if you have no idea like where to start, at the grocery store, most of the real food best options will be the ones that are in the refrigerator or with like the fruits and veggies section. So actually a real apple and real chopped veggies and things like that. And then in the refrigerator section, because that means it doesn't have preservatives and chemicals most likely. So for example, if you're getting salsa, the salsa in the fridge section is probably more fresh and better quality than the salsa at the that expires in 3 years from now. Right? Because that makes sense because it's like food, but it lasts for 3 hours. It doesn't make or 3 years. So that's a baseline. Then the other thing for packaged goods, because I just mentioned a ton of packaged goods that I like. So there are healthier options there. For that, you'll want to flip around and just do a little research and look into the ingredient label. In the book, there's like 105 ingredients to avoid that you can check out. But look it over and see, do I even know what this means? And likely, if you have no idea what that word means and you don't even know how to pronounce it and it's like super long and all these different numbers, it's probably fake. It's probably artificially made and it's probably going to cause you inflammation in your body. And some of these things, unfortunately, are even proven to cause like actual damage, endocrine disruptors, or even help or not help, but even can contribute to cancer's growth and tumors. So if you flip it over and you can't understand these ingredients, it's probably not the best option for your body if you're on a health journey and you care about what you put in your body. So look at the ingredient makeup. Also, like the length will make a difference. For example, I mentioned Made Good granola bars. Their ingredient length, their list length is way, way smaller than the other options of granola bars or breakfast bars. And so that indicates that it has less ingredients, better quality ingredients, and real things for your body.
Yeah, I know there's an app I use occasionally called Fujicate. Are there any other apps that are like helpful that you would recommend people, whether it's tracking and looking for substitutions, seeing what's healthy and things, and to even bring in, another part of your book, the environmental things. There's so many
Yeah.
environmental products we have in our house that could be damaging us. Yeah, I'll just go off on that.
Yeah, so a newer app that I've heard of recently is Yucca to say like what the ingredients are, but EWG is kind of what I was initially into. So EWG, it rates the item, say it's a shampoo, and it tells you how toxic it is. So you always want to focus on the lower levels of EWG. There are items for your household that are EWG certified, meaning they're like the cleanest of clean. And then I personally would try to get everything as a level 2 or lower. Again, it depends how serious you are about this. When I was first healing my body, let me tell you, I would do anything to heal. I was so done. So I only used EWG certified stuff for a very long time. Now I'm a little bit more flexible here and there, and I'll do an EWG2 item, just like a little less, not the best option, but definitely a much better option in certain situations.
Yeah, and we kind of dived into this already, but this is crazy, for people who may not be aware of these things. So, I think everyone in general is aware of like, hey, I could eat healthier, choose healthier foods. But, something, when I first started learning like, hey, the items in my household can be impacting my health, such as, I used to burn Yankee candles all the time. I don't know if Yankee candles themselves are bad, but cologne. Like, can you just talk about regular
Yeah.
household items that could impact health? Because I think it's mind blowing for a lot of people. They never think about that.
Oh my gosh, it's completely mind blowing. And it's mind blowing to me now that because I've been in this world for so long, it feels like everybody should know this now. But I still have people who have no idea that the lotion that they're putting on their body every single day is completely toxic, or the makeup that they're using, or that candle that they have, or the plug in their wall that is putting fragrance and toxins in their air every day. Yes, so it's so bad. This is all about part 2 in the book of environment detoxification, and it's one thing that definitely helped me in a huge way. And actually it's one of my favorite parts too, because it doesn't really require much discipline to throw out a Yankee candle and to replace it with a more healthy version. Right, that doesn't take a lot of revamping in your life. It's an easier swap. Same with household cleaners. Instead of using the household cleaner you usually use, swap it with a non-toxic version. It's an easy win. It's an easy win. So what you can do is you can look in your house and make a list of all the things that you use on a daily basis for your household cleaning items, things that are going into your air like fragrances, the water that you're drinking every single day, the things that you're putting on your body. It's not just what you're putting in your body and eating. It's what you're putting on as well. Make a list, and then again, just like the pantry, swap those things out with an easy swap.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, like how big are the consequences to some of these things? Like a long time when we bought our first house, like I didn't know what radon was. I didn't know it was a big deal. I didn't know radon was the second leading cause of cancer, and lung cancer. And so when I started learning these things, like, hey, if we have high radon levels in our basement, like we need a radon mitigation system, to clear that out. Like a lot of the things we're putting in our body have the ability to cause cancer and have consequences like that. Like how serious is this?
Yeah, I love that you're so into this because it's extremely serious. I mean, people die from radon poisoning if they don't know about it and it's in their home or what in the ground that their home was built on or whatever it is. So it's extremely important, and it's proven that certain chemicals have led to cancers. And those chemicals are now banned from our food and from our items. But there are still things on the market that are newer that no, they're not banned yet. And yes, they're approved, but that has happened in the past, and now those items are proven to cause cancers or to have health complications and infertility, things like that. And so that happened once before, and it would be silly for us to think that it might not happen again with some of these newer ingredients and newer things that are artificially made. So you can always trust a natural product that is made with real foods, real ingredients, but I would not always trust the chemicals, especially the newer ones, because you just don't know what's going to come out in 40 years from now, because we definitely have proven that in some situations, entire product lines have been recalled and taken off the market because of that.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for writing this book. I'm definitely going to be reading it, and hopefully people were inspired by it today. I could dive into all these subjects in mindset. Is there anything else related to the book that you would just leave listeners to?
Well, the biggest thing to know is obviously we could both chat about this for days on end, but that's really what the book is. It's a one-stop shop for all of your wellness needs. It is not just about what you should eat. It's really about mindset around eating, anti-inflammatory eating, healthy swaps, environment, detoxing, lifestyle, functional medicine. It's a one-stop shop to your healthiest self, and I'm just so excited for y'all to get it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your journey. Thank you for writing this book to help so many people. I know you've helped hundreds and thousands of people already. So again, we'll include links to everything in the show notes. We have a few minutes left. I would love to, we won't get through all of the lightning round questions, but I would love to just ask you a few, just get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
And the first one is, what is the best advice you've ever received and who gave it to you?
My friend JJ Virgin, who is also in the wellness space, gave me this advice once. I was having a tough run in my journey of entrepreneurship, and I texted her and asked for some advice, and she told me CEOs, this is tough love, but she told me CEOs don't curl up and cry when things get tough. They keep on moving. And I was like, I needed to hear that. I'm not going to curl up and cry. I'm going to keep on moving. And that I really think about that often. And I'm like, you know what? CEOs don't curl up and cry. Like, let's keep on going. And that helped me a lot.
Love it. If you could put a quote on a billboard for everyone to read, what would it say?
You got this.
Let's go. When you get to spend time with a JJ Virgin or other leaders that you admire, do you have a go-to question or two that you always ask?
Well, whenever I'm around people who are doing bigger things than me and have more experience than me, I'm really kind of asking what's the main main differences in their business growth was, but specifically for me and my interest right now, it's team growth. That's one area that I'm always learning more about, and I'm curious about. How are you managing your team? Who are you hiring? All the different things for team and leadership is really my biggest interest right now.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to touch on any of your business acumen and everything you do in coaching people there. But just to summarize, you basically, yeah.
Well, it's a whole other. We could come on for part two, but yes, I own another company in the business space. So I'm myself an entrepreneur, and we teach others to build and launch their own companies in the wellness space. So in that, I obviously have team members, and I hang out with a lot of entrepreneurs in all different industries, and so I'm always asking them about their team growth.
What's something you've done in your life that you think everyone should experience before they die?
Oh gosh. Um, Oh my gosh, I would say I guess travel. I've been really grateful to be able to travel abroad to many different places. Even as a child, my dad loves traveling, and so I was fortunate to get to go to really cool places like Ireland and Italy and all these really awesome places with my siblings growing up. So if you've never traveled anywhere, I would say that put that on the bucket list.
All right. And if you could have coffee with yourself at any age and you would have actually listened to yourself, what age would it be and what would you tell that version of Maggie?
Oh my gosh. Uh, eighth grade. Eighth grade, going into high school, I would tell that version of Maggie to, care less, focus on yourself, build your own internal confidence, and be you. And because I feel as if, those years going into high school and then college, it's easy to be formed by the people you're surrounding yourself with. And we talk a lot about when you're older, you can kind of fine tune your circles, but when you're in high school going to school with kids the same like every single day in college, it's a little harder. So you really have to find that internal motivation to be yourself, to be confident, and that's what I would tell myself: more confidence and to be me.
Anything else you want to leave leaders with today?
Oh, I'm just really excited for all of you guys. I hope this inspires everybody to live healthier, happier lives, because it's going to help impact every aspect of your life.
Yeah, well, Maggie, thank you for your book. Thank you for your time, and we'll do this again sometime.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.